Technological Ashes, Chapter 7. It Takes Two to Tango. The train was swaying back and forth as we both took a step towards the caboose. Seb decided to bring his radio with him. Why the radio? All tech is screwed. Seb smiled and turned it on. It turned on? He extended the antenna and hit it a few times. Carter, shh, office, shh. Seb looked confused, and he quickly flipped to the AM stations. Official broadcast from the White House. The continental U.S. has been crippled. All infrastructure has failed. Military will be sent to reinforce order and stability. A harsh laugh escaped my lips. They never listened to the fact that we needed backup power sources. And the government contractor who will not be named said that, not that anonymity matters anymore. He said that the world was going to burn because of our ego one day. Seb got this hollowness in his eyes. The world is over, isn't it? Humanity as we know it is dead and gone, replaced with something more primal and animalistic. That was a very grim yet probable correct assumption on his part. If the entirety of the continental US is powerless, we can only assume the whole world is as well. And that strikes me as an attack, one at an opportune time. Seb looked up at me. You think so? I thought so too, but what could have orchestrated it? I could think of only one man, General Nathans. The man who was at the time of the water wars the head of the Department of Defense. His name was Nathans. He was a genocidal maniac. He always wanted to see the world burn and suffer. We got to the caboose finally and saw the widespread devastation. Whole forests were ablaze, and homes that weren't fully burnt were in the process of it. Skyscrapers in the distance were glassy hellscapes, with some being completely collapsed or partially melted. We got to the bench that was built into the caboose, the red paint partially flecked off the smooth wood. The bench was well worn at this point. So, how do you think he did it, if he did in fact do it? I wasn't sure, but I knew of another potential arbiter of death and decay, a scientist in the Army Corps of Engineers by the name of Randall. His radical acceptance of Nathan's ideology was always scary. I only met him once, but he was obsessed with two things: AI and solar terrorism. Seb shivered as I said solar terrorism. I didn't know there was such a thing. I know about coronal mass ejections in the Carrington event, but how would he use the sun to destroy the power unless. No. Carrington event? I'd ask later. What is it, Seb? He gave me the joint and scotch and paced around the caboose. During the Carrington event in the 1800s, only technology that was on and being used was affected. Technology that was off survived the sun's assault, hence why my radio still works. That was something I had heard in school, but I'd never paid enough attention to it. Now I wish I had. So, kid, you're saying that any piece of tech that wasn't online would still be functional? That's horrible. He seemed surprised at my statement. Why? Imbalances. When people find out or realize there will be power vacuums and struggles, factions will rise up and war against each other, over things like territory or supplies. His face drained of all its color into a white canvas. Shit, we need to tell Andy. Just then he walked out of the shadows. Don't worry, I figured most of it out on my own. Electrical engineering was my original study before I was drafted. Leave it to Andy to sneak up like that. He had been a Marine and was responsible for his own share of inner demons. It's okay, you understand that you have to harden up. This doctor thing is great, but you need to be okay with killing. He shook his head. I know you're right, but fuck, how am I supposed to be okay with it? In a rare moment of compassion, Andy talked some harsh truths. Truth is, you're right. You never get to fully come to terms or grasp with taking a life. It'll haunt you forever, but it's kill or be killed. Man up. We need you. He just looked up teary-eyed and Andy hugged him in another rare display of emotion. Was I going insane? And stay tuned for Chapter 8, Scalding Hot, coming up soon. Okay, bye. Love you. It's